I thought it would be the Royal Rumble. I failed. I didn't give up. I thought it would be the Elimination Chamber. I failed.
All of us, nobody's perfect. We failed too many times.
But failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up and I am fired up because I have figured it out.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Your tired body, that unmotivated mind, and get out there and do it anyway. You know, you better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, you know, just say, I'm gonna beat my mind today.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now. The main point is to find something that you are not standing still where you are right now.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. Right? I will run.
You would not be outworked.
I will not be outworked.
Right.
Period. You might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be sexier than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, right? There's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm gonna die.
What I've learned is to always keep going. Always. I've come to find out is that, you know, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready. And so I've really learned to put one foot in front of the other, good, bad, or indifferent, because eventually that storm passes.
We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger. We were never satisfied, never finished. We'll never be retired. Rest at the end, not in the middle.
I used to tell myself specifically, I cannot be broke. And I think because I was struggled a lot growing up, and I saw how hard my dad was working his off. We traveled all around. We were able to pay rent, live a pretty good life, but I saw what the end of the road was. And that was being evicted and not having any money, and him and my mom like scrapping in Tampa. He opened up a cleaning company, and they were just like cleaning houses, cleaning anything they could. And so for me, it was, I cannot be broke.
If you're gonna make it, you're gonna make it no matter what. And there's no like, oh, well, things didn't go your way the first year and it ruined the trajectory of your career. It's either you have it or you don't.
That sounds like excuses to me. I mean, you gotta figure it out, right? If you really have an obsession to figure it out, you will figure it out, right? And every puzzle is constructed differently. Right? AI's situation when he came into the league was different than mine. Mike's situation in Chicago was different than mine, right? Everybody has a different puzzle, man. You just gotta figure out your own puzzle.
You can't listen to people, because even my parents didn't want me to do martial arts. They didn't want me to fight. They didn't want me to do stand-up. You have to understand who you are, and then in the face of other people's either criticism or lack of faith in your ability to succeed, you push through, and there's great benefit in that.
There's a road to every place on this earth. You can become
anything that is available on this earth. And it's like the pathway it's your mind. It's like, you absolutely have to educate your mind, and the recognition that the only limits are your thoughts. If you think you're in a up situation and you'll never get out, you're gonna make that true.
Life is becoming. Like, we are always becoming. There is no point in which you stop learning and discovering and you get to a place where, this is it. And do you really want that?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. At this stage, I am still becoming. I've learned something new about myself as a woman. I'm more in touch with my confidence. I know what I know, and I feel more empowered to claim what I know. I don't doubt myself in the ways that I did in my 40s and 50s, because that's still coming for you too.
Yes, I can only imagine. And that's what I'm hearing from you, is literally just to keep living. That just, the expectations and I think that's the thing, is like, we're always becoming. I think that's a great way to put that, because it's never ending. These realizations that we're gonna have.
You don't get anything without discipline and hard work. You can't make a life if you're not willing to sacrifice and you're not willing to suffer and work for your dreams. And when things get hard, you have to be willing to suffer to change the circumstances. Nobody gets an easy ride.
I think if you know what you're supposed to do, deep down inside, I think everybody does. And a lot of people just don't go after it. Like most people start out, they say, I want to be a this, but I'm going to get that to make sure I have something to fall back on. Yeah. And what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're going, there's a possibility that I'm going to fall back. And when you put that out there, then you fall back. But if you just say, hey, this is what I want to do, and you go do it, you usually get your stuff the way you want it, man.
Everybody come up to me all the time. I just want some advice, bro. I just want to know how I can make it, bro. I got this many subscribers. Hey, bro, you just gotta be consistent. All right, bro, can I take a picture? They don't listen to it.
Right.
Hey, bro, you gotta be consistent. You gotta go every single day. That's the only way.
So for me, I want to win it all. I'm greedy like that. I want everybody around me to win. I don't want to be the only winner. I want everybody to win. It's a lot of money out here that we all can get. You dig what I'm saying? So that right there is how I look at the whole framework of just my existence now. Yeah, the Super Bowl didn't go the way it went, but I got that experience though.
Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you.
For anybody out there that have dreams and aspirations, all you gotta do is be consistent. The days you don't want to work are the days that matter the most. Because if you don't go to work, it's the same thing as calling off. If you're calling off, somebody else taking your job. Go to work.
And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. As you hold on to that dream, there are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day.
Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Graduating class, hear me well on this day. When you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education, you would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
Someone I really respect said this. There are basically two kinds of people in life. They're winners and they're losers. And the definition is this. Losers take things that happen to them and that they feel inside that suck, and they wallow, and they use it for self or outward destruction. Winners take whatever they feel it, it sucks, and they transmute it into things that are good for themselves and for the world.
What got me to this point was I was just the opposite of what I am today. I was that guy who ran away from absolutely everything that I got in front of me. And when you put yourself in hell, that's the only time you can figure out how to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do it. Some guy who sat up in their nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids, and why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy, it still said, and found out a way to get through it.
Sometimes the first step is the hardest. Like, it's hard to take that 1 million step too, but sometimes the first step is the most. There's something about procrastination. It's like, you know it's painful.
Oh, yeah.
You know you should be doing things, but you just keep doing it. You keep itching that scab.
I procrastinate like a mother every day. I don't want to do this. That's what's so funny, man. People looking like I'm some damn superhero that came down from the gods, from the heavens of earth. No, man. I don't want to do this. I'm looking at my shoes for 30 minutes sometimes thinking, man, people look up to you, Goggins. Damn. I don't want to do I'm like, I want to do this. But guess what?
You do it.
I'm going to do it.
As long as you do it.
And that's what I know about it, man. That's why I stopped doing it. I'm thinking, man, you can sit here, you can look at your shoes for 30, 40 minutes. You can go, you can think about it all day long, you can do it anyway.
I feel that in today's time, what people are most selfish with is information. Nobody wants to give information. You got to ask for it. If you ask for it, then all right, maybe I'll tell you some stuff, but it's a search and find.
You mean real good information?
Information about how to get to success. That's the want from everybody across the board on some level.
Right.
Okay, everybody's success is different. This doesn't mean fame and stars. I'm not talking about that level of success for everything. I'm saying whatever your version of success is, to get to it, information from someone that's done it or that's partaken in it in some degree will only add to the value of your journey. It's only going to make it easier.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
I want everything to be perfect before something happens. That's how I am. I want everything to be, look, as soon as everything gets all lined up, gets all perfect, then this will happen. And by doing that, I'm not really giving the Lord a chance to tickle me. You know, I'm not really giving, and stay with me. I'm not by saying, okay, I'm not, as soon as this, then this, and then this. You know, as soon as I get.
I was hoping that the economy would change. I was hoping that my company would change. I was hoping that my paycheck would change. I was hoping that circumstances outside would change. And then here's what I found out. It isn't going to change. So then my question was, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? And here's what my teacher taught me. When you change, When you change, everything will change for you. When you get better, everything will get better for you.
Well, I studied this over and over again. I traveled in over 80 countries on 7 continents. I have learned and spoken 3-4 different languages. I have spent over 30,000 hours studying, and I've come to a very simple conclusion, that successful people are those who do things differently from unsuccessful people. I've also come to another conclusion, is that you or anybody can be far more successful at life or at anything that you want if you will simply learn how and practice it over and over again until it becomes a habit. Now, no matter what field you're in, no matter what field of endeavor, no matter what work, no matter what activity, there is one thing that all successful people have in common, is that they are good time managers.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Energy, let it out. 7, 8, 9, 10, a machine here. There you go. Nobody works like David in this house. 13, come on. 14, come on. 15, shut that muscle down. 16, come on. Get it, 17. They don't know me, son. Get it, 18. They don't know me, son. Get it, 19. They don't know me, son. Yeah, 20, you got some more in you. 21, yeah, get it again. Come on, we want to see it. Good, 22. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on, 23. Come on, 24. One more, David. Who's one more to carry the boats? You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You did it. Yeah.
Certainly, being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to. A natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
You know? So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life. Gosh. There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it. Really was. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
Life's a real big picture. When I was young, all those things got in my head. Black, you're not smart enough, single mom, all that bull owns space in my head. If you're allowing people and things and situations to own space in your head, you're losing. Last thing, life's one big head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your head. Stay hard.
Most people can only execute when they feel good. If you can be someone who can execute whether you feel good or whether you feel like, and you can execute at a high level, that means that the 30% of the time where they feel good and the 66.666% of the time where they feel like they're not executing, you have a 66% advantage over the time that you're executing that they don't, which means you're doing 2/3 more work than what they're doing. Okay, it's math.
But for me, I was somebody who believed in it and somebody who believed in the process of getting there. I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight, like I said before, but every little small thing that we did was a small stepping stone in order to even be able to have that chance and that opportunity to do what I did in 2008. So, when I say from 2002 to 2008 was basically trial and error. So for me, in 2002, that's really when I started amping up my event schedule, where I was swimming 4 to 5 individual events and having a couple relays at Pan Pacs, World Championships, major international competitions throughout that time frame. Because at that time, at the Olympic Games, that's that's where I think the real truth comes out. Because I think there are a lot of people who are very talented who can make it there. There are very few people who can deal with the pressure and the stress that happens when we're there. So that's why I say we had to make sure that we were physically, emotionally, and mentally ready, because I had to be ready to be able to kind of manage my emotions through that week.